presentation from my marketing job, stress eating a blueberry muffin, probably with crumbs all over my face. He walked up and asked if he could share my table because the place was packed. Sure, I said, barely looking up. He had this easy smile, the kind that makes you feel like you've known someone forever. We started talking, and before I knew it, 2 hours had passed. My presentation sat forgotten on my laptop screen, while we discussed everything from terrible reality TV to our dreams of traveling to Japan. When he asked for my number, my heart did this stupid little flip. I remember texting my best friend Sophie that night. I think they just met someone special. I had no idea how wrong I'd be about what special meant. The next 18 months were, God, they were beautiful. That's what makes this whole thing so much worse, you know? It wasn't like there were red flags everywhere. Or maybe there were, and I was too in love to see them. James was attentive, thoughtful. He'd bring me soup when I was sick, remember the small things I mentioned in passing, surprise me with tickets to shows I wanted to see. He integrated me into his life, his friends, his family. His mom adored me, his sister and I became close. But looking back now, with the clarity that only heartbreak brings, I realized something. He never talked about the future until he did. What I mean is, for the first year, James was weirdly vague about us. When I'd mention future plans, even something as simple as a concert 6 months away, he'd get this distant look. Yeah, maybe, he'd say. Let's see. Then suddenly, around the 18-month mark, everything changed. He went from maybe to certain, from let's see to I can't wait to spend my life with you. It happened so fast, I got whiplash from the joy of it all. He proposed on a beach in Croatia. We were on vacation, watching the sunset paint the Adriatic Sea in shades of pink and gold. He got down on one knee, pulled out a ring that caught the dying light, and said, "Claire, you're my best friend, my safe harbor. Will you marry me? Safe harbor." At the time, I thought it was romantic, poetic even. I said yes through tears, happy tears. I called Sophie from our hotel room, squealing like a teenager. I posted a picture of the ring on Instagram with some caption about forever and soulmates and all that garbage we feed ourselves when we're living in a fantasy. The comments poured in. His friends, my friends, family members. Everyone was so happy for us. Everyone except one person who didn't comment at all, a woman named Vanessa. I'd seen her name pop up occasionally in James's life. An old friend, he said. Someone he'd known for years. She'd been at a few group gatherings we had attended. Tall, beautiful in that effortless way, always impeccably dressed. She'd been polite, but distant to me, and I'd chalked it up to some people just being reserved. I didn't think about her silence on my engagement post. Why would I? I was too busy planning a wedding. 6 months later, I was standing in a bridal suite, looking at myself in a full-length mirror, wearing a dress that had taken me 3 months to find. Lace sleeves, a sweetheart neckline, a train that pooled around my feet like spilled cream. Sophie stood behind me, tears in her eyes. "You look perfect," she whispered. I felt perfect. Everything was perfect. The venue, a restored barn with string lights and wildflowers. The weather, sunny with a light breeze. The guests, everyone we loved, gathered to watch us promise forever. James looked incredible waiting for me at the altar. Navy suit, crisp white shirt, that easy smile that had made me fall for him in the first place. When I walked down the aisle, his eyes got shiny. He was crying, actually crying. The ceremony was beautiful. We said our vows, traditional ones, but he added a personal bit at the end about how I'd changed his life, made him believe in second chances. Second chances. Another phrase I didn't think twice about at the time. We danced, we ate cake, we laughed with our friends and family. His college buddy gave a speech about how James had been a confirmed bachelor until he met me, the one who finally caught him. Caught him, as if he'd been running. Maybe he had been. We flew to Bali the next day. Business class, because James insisted on splurging. The resort was stunning. One of those places with private villas and infinity pools that blend into the ocean. I was living in a dream, until the dream became a nightmare. It happened on day 3. James had gone for a run on the beach. I was lounging in our villa, sipping coffee, when I realized I'd forgotten to send an important email to my boss before we left. I'd used James's laptop to book a few things for the honeymoon, and mine was dead, so I grabbed his. I wasn't snooping. I want to be clear about that. I wasn't some suspicious wife going through her husband's computer. I opened his laptop, pulled up his email to forward myself a document I needed, and that's when I saw it. An email in his drafts folder. The preview was visible. "Vanessa, I need you to understand why..." My stomach dropped. You know that feeling, right? When your body knows something is wrong before your brain catches up? My hands were shaking as I clicked it open. I wish I hadn't. God, how I wish I hadn't. It was dated 2 years ago, never sent, just saved in his drafts. And it detailed everything. "Vanessa, I need you to understand why I can't keep waiting. We've been on and off for 7 years. You keep saying you're not ready, that you need more time, that marriage feels too permanent. But then 3 months ago, you said yes. You finally said yes, and I started planning our future. I bought the ring, I booked the venue, the same barn you said you loved when we drove past it. I told my family we were going to get engaged. And then, 3 weeks before I was going to propose, you changed your mind again. You said you couldn't go through with it. You needed to be free. I can't keep doing this. I'm 34 years old and I want a life. I want a family. I want stability. So I'm moving on. I met someone, Claire. She's kind and uncomplicated. She doesn't play games. She won't break my heart because she's not the kind of person who breaks hearts. She's safe. I'm going to ask her to marry me, not because I love her the way I loved you. I don't think I'll ever feel that intensity again, but because I need to move forward. She'll be a good wife, a good mother. She'll make a nice life, even if it's not the life I imagined. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for, Jay. I read it 3 times, then 4. Then I lost count. Each word was a knife. Safe, uncomplicated, not the life I imagined. The coffee cup slipped from my hand and shattered on the tile floor. I didn't even flinch. Everything made sense now. The sudden shift from vague to certain. The timeline, 18 months ago, would have been right after Vanessa rejected him. The proposal location, Croatia, somewhere he'd probably never been with her, because the barn venue was already tainted. I wasn't chosen. I was convenient. I heard James come back from his run. He was humming, actually humming, as he walked into the villa. "Hey, babe, you should have come. The beach is incredible. We should go snorkeling later." He stopped when he saw me sitting there, his laptop open in front of me. "Claire, what's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost." I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw the laptop at him. I wanted to demand answers, to make him explain how he could build an entire marriage on a lie. But I didn't. You know what I did instead? I smiled. Actually smiled. "Nothing, just felt a little nauseous. Must be something I ate." "Oh no," he said, immediate concern on his face. That easy concern that came so naturally to him because I was the safe choice, the one who wouldn't complicate his life. "Do you need me to get you anything?" "No," I said. "I think I just need to rest. Why don't you go enjoy the pool? I'll join you later." He kissed my forehead, like I was a child, and left. The plan. I sat there for an hour, my mind racing through everything, every moment of our relationship now colored with this new, horrible context. I could confront him, scream, cry, demand a divorce right there in paradise. But something stopped me. Maybe it was pride. Maybe it was the realization that confrontation would give him the opportunity to explain, to apologize, to try to make me stay. And some weak part of me might listen. No, I needed to be smart about this. I made a plan. That night, I acted normal. We had dinner at the resort restaurant. I laughed at his jokes. I held his hand across the table. I even let him take a selfie of us that he posted with some caption about paradise with my wife. The next morning, I told him I was going to the spa. Full day of treatments, I said. The works. I'll be pampered into oblivion. "You deserve it, Mrs. Reeves," he said, kissing me goodbye. Mrs. Reeves, a name I'd been so excited to take 3 days ago. Now it felt like a brand. I didn't go to the spa. I went to the resort's business center, printed out the email, and tucked it into my purse. Evidence, just in case. Then I went back to our villa while James was at breakfast with some couple we'd met by the pool. I packed one suitcase, just necessities. I left the wedding dress hanging in the closet, that gorgeous dress I'd loved so much. It felt contaminated now. I left a note on the bed, short and simple. I found the email about Vanessa. I deserve to be someone's first choice, not their safe backup plan. Don't try to find me. I'll have my lawyer contact you about the annulment. Claire. I called Sophie at the airport. She answered on the first ring. Claire? How's Bali? Are you having the most amazing... I need you to do something for me, I interrupted. My voice was surprisingly steady. I'm coming home early, alone. Can you pick me up from the airport tomorrow? What? Why? What happened? Is James? I'll explain everything. Just, can you do this for me? Of course, always.
I waited for my dad every birthday. Every year on my birthday, I secretly waited for my dad to call. Even after he left our family, I still believed that one day he would remember. When I was little, I used to sit beside the window with my phone in my hands. Maybe today he'll call, but he never did. Years passed. I grew older and stopped expecting anything. Then on my 25th birthday, my phone rang. It was Dad. I froze. For a moment, I was that little girl again, sitting by the window. I answered. He said, "Happy birthday, sweetheart." I didn't know what to say. I wanted to scream. I wanted to ask him where he had been all those years. Instead, I whispered, "Thank you, Dad." We talked for only a few minutes. Before hanging up, he said, "I know I missed a lot. I'm sorry." After the call ended, I cried. Not because he had finally called, but because I realized how long I'd been waiting for 5 simple words. Sometimes growing up doesn't mean you stop needing your parents. It just means you learn to hide how much you still miss them.
Last month, I was in New York for a conference, sitting in a hotel bar after a panel I'd moderated, answering emails on my phone, when someone said my name. Claire? Claire Morrison? I looked up. It took me a second to place him. Older, grayer, but definitely James's college buddy, the one who'd given the speech at our wedding about me finally catching James. "It's Reeves now," I said automatically, then caught myself. "Actually, no, it's Morrison. Was briefly Reeves, but we don't talk about that." He laughed awkwardly. "Right, yeah, I heard about... James mentioned..." "It's fine," I said, meaning it. Ancient history. How are you? How's James?" I don't know why I asked. Curiosity, maybe? Or a test to see if it still hurt. "He's good. Got remarried last year, actually." "That's great," I said. And I meant that, too. "Vanessa finally said yes," he continued. And there it was, the confirmation of what I'd always known. Third time's the charm, I guess. They're expecting their first kid. I felt... nothing. Maybe the tiniest pang, not of jealousy, but of sadness for who I'd been. That girl who'd felt perfect in a wedding dress, marrying a man who'd seen her as a placeholder. "I'm happy for them, really. What about you?" he asked. "Seeing anyone?" "Casually," I replied, which was true. I'd dated here and there, nothing serious. I wasn't avoiding it, but I wasn't chasing it either. I'd learned to be whole on my own first. He nodded, then said, "For what it's worth, James is an idiot. I didn't know the whole story back then, but you're clearly doing amazing. Your company is everywhere." "Thank you. I'm proud of what I've built." After he left, I sat there for a while, thinking about everything. About the girl who'd said yes on a beach in Croatia, about the woman who'd walked away in Bali, about who I'd become in the years between. James got his first choice in the end. Vanessa finally decided he was worth committing to, and he got the love story he'd always wanted. And me? I got something better. I got to be my own first choice. It's been 7 years now since that perfect wedding day. 7 years since I found that email. 7 years since I left my honeymoon and my husband and the life I thought I wanted. People sometimes ask if I regret it, if I wish I'd stayed and worked it out, or at least confronted him, had some big dramatic showdown. I don't, not even a little, because here's what I learned. Being someone's safe choice isn't love, it's settling, and we all deserved better than that. I deserve to be someone's first choice, their only choice, their can't imagine life without you choice. But more importantly, I learned to be that person for myself. So no, I don't regret leaving. I regret wasting 2 years before I knew the truth, but those years taught me what I didn't want, and the years since have shown me what's possible when you refuse to accept less than you deserve. I'm not the backup bride anymore. I'm not anyone's bride at all. I'm just Claire, CEO, cat mom, occasionally decent potter, always learning, always growing. And that's more than enough. That's everything.